What if Padme Amidala was Supreme Chancellor? I'm gonna start this in 24 BBY, as this is the year that Palpatine's 2 4-year terms would be up. With the Separatist crisis looming, Palpatine was able to extend his term longer than the usual 8 years. However, in this story, diplomacy would reign superior and Palpatine would be forced out of office. In his place, the young and ambitious Senator Padme Amidala would take his place as Chancellor of the Republic. Palpatine would join Padme's committee of advisors due to their friendship and his experience. It's 2 years before the beginning of the Clone Wars, and the main goal for Chancellor Padme would be to thwart the Separatist crisis through the use of diplomacy. Palpatine would obviously be pulling the strings from the shadows, so would not allow Dooku, the head of the Separatists, to agree to their peace terms. Palpatine would also know what Padme would do before it would even be done. But Padme Amidala is strong and wouldn't give up easily. She would continue with her want to seek out a diplomatic solution to the crisis and stop the seceding from the Galactic Republic. Many in the Confederacy of Independent Systems and in the Separatist Senate also want to avoid fighting. However, they were seeing their leader, Count Dooku, continuously reject the option of peace. This was brought up in the Separatist Senate, and Dooku was asked why a diplomatic solution wasn't being reached. A huge majority in the Separatist Senate proposed and voted for negotiation to be held to prevent a war. Dooku couldn't do anything about this. Over 80% in his Senate want to explore this, so he had no other option. The meeting between the Republic and Separatists would take place on the neutral world of Toydaria. The meeting is recorded and live streamed in both Senates. Padme, along with her few advisors, met with Dooku and a few of his favourable senators. They discussed for hours. Padme held the stance that she was opposed to creation of a Republic military and do whatever she could to prevent a war. Dooku's stance was that the Republic Senate is corrupt and there needs to be a complete redo to rectify this. Padme counters this argument by asking him if a conflict that would kill billions and billions is the correct way to do this. She tells him that she has some ideas to reduce corruption. These include rigorous background checks and monitoring of senators' business deals, and she proposes that this would be a way better alternative to the war. The meeting concludes and there is outrage. Outrage in the Separatist Senate because Dooku didn't express the view of most of the Separatists. They also want to deal with the corruption in the Republic, but want to reduce the probability of war at all costs. Sidious is also outraged at Dooku for doing such a poor job at handling the situation, and this will have dire consequences. A lot of the senators and the Separatists catch on to Dooku. Dooku wants conflict, and this causes them to leave the Separatists and go back to the Republic. The Republic, led by Padme, was the only side looking for a peaceful solution. They go back to the Republic and they see Padme, a chancellor that is eager to fight corruption in the Senate and already has a few ideas in place. The Republic is on top and the Separatists are failing. Padme is praised for her tremendous work and is only one of the best and most effective chancellors in the last 100 years. Dooku and Palpatine have been backed into a corner. Systems that were previously under the Sith's manipulations begin to doubt Sidious after his recent failure of the Separatists, and some leave his aid and rejoin the Republic. This is a tremendous blow for the Sith. Now they don't have the reach and the funds to initiate a galactic conflict. Dooku continues the Separatists, and Palpatine attempts to increase corruption in the Senate. However, Padme is such a huge favourite that her new policies to reduce corruption in the Senate are working, and it feels like the Republic is about to enter an age of prosperity. Dooku holds a public meeting with the Separatist senators, but also with some neutral systems with the intent to lure them to their side. However, the Republic got wind of this meeting and asked the Jedi to send a few masters to investigate. Dooku gives his welcoming and persuasive speech to all the visitors. After they all dine and chat in small groups with waiters carrying around food and drink, the Jedi Masters Yoda and Plo Koon approach Dooku, who turns around in surprise to see them. From the Jedi's point of view, they don't know Dooku is a Sith, and just believe him to be an idealist. Just as Yoda goes to greet his former apprentice, he and Plo Koon sense the dark side within him, and they stay silent. Dooku can tell that they sense this, and quickly uses this moment to send Force Lightning at the two. Plo Koon is directly hit and sent back, but Yoda catches it and sends it directly back at Dooku, which causes him to fly across the room. The guests scatter out of the room, to leave only the Force users inside. Yoda tells Dooku he's disappointed in him, and that he's taught him better than to give in to the dark side. Both ignite their blades and begin fighting. Plo Koon also gets up and joins the fray. The fight does not favour Dooku. He is clearly outmatched by the Jedi Masters and is beginning to show. Plo kicks the lightsaber out of his hand and forces Yoda across the room. Plo Koon jumps on him and puts handcuffs on him before he can get up and forces him to his knees. Both Jedi stand in front of him and stare down the defeated Sith. Dooku is already out of favor with Sidious, and he knows his capture will only reinforce this and cause him to be cut off as Sidious' apprentice. This enrages him and causes him to gloat. He tells the Jedi that the Sith will reign superior and that it's only a matter of time. The Sith have already infiltrated the Republic Senate, have ties to the leadership of the Republic, and nothing can be done about that. Yoda and Plo Koon give Dooku a shocked look, and he attempts to take advantage of the situation. Dooku uses the Force to ignite his lightsaber and pulls it from across the room towards Yoda. At the very last moment, Yoda jumps out of the way and the blade crashes right into Dooku's chest, killing him. Yoda and Plo travel back to the Republic and tell the Jedi Council what has occurred. They then set up a meeting with Chancellor Amidala to explain the events on Serenno. Padme is surprised to hear that Dooku said that the Sith Lord has control and influence over the leadership of the Republic, as she obviously doesn't have any ties with the Sith. She asks the Jedi what they think, and Mace tells her that the Council thinks the only way to make sure no Sith have infiltrated the Senate is to have mandatory blood tests for all senators and advisory staff. Padme thinks about this for a second and tells the Jedi that it's going to be hard to implement this, but the Senate will understand that it's the only way. The blood test is called Anti-Sith, and the bill is proposed and voted for through Congress. The mandatory blood test of all senators and staff begins. Palpatine did what he could to oppose the bill, but he knows that he cannot be too strong about it because it would only make him look suspicious. Fear begins to control Palpatine. The grand plan isn't looking very probable anymore, following Dooku's death and the loss of his chancellorship. To maintain its legitimacy, 2 Jedi oversee all blood tests to ensure accuracy. In this case, Mace Windu and Obi-Wan overlooked Chancellor Padme and her officer's blood test due to what Dooku said on Serenno. Palpatine is really panicking now. Padme is checked and her blood shows a low midichlorian count. The rest of her team goes, and it comes to Palpatine's turn. The nurse goes to prick Palpatine's finger, but he ignites his blade and cuts the throat of the nurse, and uses the Force to pull Padme towards him, and holds his blade to her throat. Mace and Yoda ignite their lightsabers, and try to hide their looks of shock. The rest of the room jumps in surprise, and Padme begs Palpatine to let her go, and asks what he's doing. He goes to back up outside the room, and uses the Force to open the door behind them. However, as soon as he opens the door, he senses the presence of 3 powerful Jedi, Yoda, Plo Koon, and Kit Fisto. After what Count Dooku said to Yoda and Plo on Serenno, they knew the Sith would be hiding in Padme's committee, so in preparation, had even more Jedi hiding just in case. Palpatine knows he's surrounded by 5 immensely powerful masters that cannot be defeated in a duel. He executes Padme on the spot, and lets out a rageful dark side scream that bursts the eardrums of many of the non-Force users in the room. The Jedi Masters are pushed back ever so slightly by the force of the scream, but ignite their blades in preparation. Palpatine rushes at Mace and Kenobi first, and uses his immense speed to get the upper hand before Kenobi can respond, piercing him first with his lightsaber. Mace blocks the follow-up strike, but Palpatine jumps and propels himself off Mace's head towards the back of the room, also sending Windu toppling to the ground. He uses Sith lightning to break open the window and attempts to jump out, but as he goes to, the 3 Jedi at the door focus their energy and use the Force to hold him mid-air. Mace grabs Sidious' lightsaber with the Force, and the Jedi pull him inside. Sidious writhes in pain and yells out in an ancient language that the Jedi don't understand, but it's no use. The Sith have been captured. He's put in handcuffs and sent off to a prison on Coruscant. With Chancellor Padme's death, Vice-Chancellor Bail Organa becomes Supreme Chancellor and his first term begins. Padme is commemorated as one of the best chancellors in history, reducing corruption to close to 0% in the Senate and unmasking the Sith Lord, Darth Sidious, who hid in plain sight. A statue of hers is set up in front of the Senate building to remember all she did for the galaxy and act as a role model for future aspiring female politicians. The Clone War easily comes to an end. Now with Palpatine's death, the war was regarded as completely over once Maul and the Mandalorians are defeated in battle. Sidious is transferred to the Ghost Prison by the Jedi, where he intends to live out the rest of his days. With Obi-Wan Kenobi's death, someone must take his place on the council. His Padawan Anakin Skywalker is promoted to the rank of Jedi Master and takes Obi-Wan's seat on the council. These are truly prosperous days for the Republic. Corruption is at a record low, and the Republic continues its expansion around the galaxy and into the unknown regions. The goal of Bail Organa is to crack down on the crime syndicates and partners with the Jedi Order to do this. Anakin Skywalker begins to grow in power and at the ripe age of 30 is a model Jedi Master that is in line with Mace as the most powerful Jedi in the Order. It is at this age that Yoda decides to step down as Grand Master due to sickness and ill health, and spends the last of his days in a hospital bed surrounded by the Council. Mace takes up the role as Grand Master, and Anakin takes the seat next to him as his second in command. The whole Council knows that Anakin is the most powerful and thus understand this decision, understand that he is the future of the Order after Mace's death. One day, during a council meeting, they are sent a message from the unknown regions by Mithral Narodo. Anakin sits up straight in his seat and the other masters realize this. Mace asks Anakin who this is and tells the council his name is Thrawn. He is a Chiss from the unknown regions. Mace responds by saying he thought the Chiss were just a myth, but Anakin tells them that they are real and very, very dangerous. Kit Fisto asks Mace what the message says, who responds by saying it's a declaration of war. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a like and let me know what you want to see in part 2. Hey guys, don't forget to check out our membership program for only 99 cents a month, which gives you these cool emojis to use in the comments as well as much more. Also, check out our Discord to hear about new video ideas first, link in the description.